Welcome to NetFit and Chill. My name is Kyle. I'll be your host today. This is my sidekick for the day. That's Caesar. He's a pretty great dog. So don't forget to subscribe. So I've been telling you guys. I mean, come on. So get on my YouTube channel. It's NetFit Coach. No matter where you go, even though the name of the podcast is NetFit and Chill, still go ahead and subscribe if you like the videos that I've been putting out. So I really appreciate it. Next, so I wanted to talk today, and I've gone over a little bit on this on some of the previous blogs, but periodization. So what periodization is basically you're organizing your goals to get to one ultimate goal. So a really good analogy for this would be like an Olympic athlete. So they always have one goal in mind. So it doesn't matter what it is, like a bobsledder or a baseball player, whatever that is. So they have a certain timeline that they have to achieve a certain goal. And so the overall goal, what that's called, that is called a macro cycle. So a macro cycle is basically just, like I said, your overall goal that you're trying to get to. So if you are a swimmer, your overall goal is to, depending on what type of swimmer you are, let's say you're a diver, is to be the best diver that you can be, right? And typically there's going to be a timeline on that. And after that, basically, if you break it down, so let's call that kind of like the dollar bill, or let's call it like the dollar bill of basically your training. And then next, let's take like a quarter. Okay, a quarter is referred to as your mesocycle. So your mesocycle is just basically you're getting a little bit more down to the nitty gritty of really programming. So you're like, okay, what is the next? So let's take like a macro cycle would be a year, for instance, or 4 years, or whatever that is. A mesocycle would be like the next 3 months. Okay, so what am I doing for the next 3 months? And then inside that would be a microcycle. So that's going to be kind of like a penny, right? So you have your dollar, your quarter, and then your penny. So the penny is, what am I doing this week? Or what am I doing for the next 2 to 3 weeks, right? That's going to be your penny. So let's start kind of why that is. So basically why you want to have periodization or planning of your programming is because you can't do everything at once. So you see a lot of people, and I get this question all the time, man, how can I build muscle and burn fat at the same time? Which actually you can do. So that's probably a bad example. Okay, so let's say this. Let's say, man, how do I get really strong and super cut? You know what I mean? Or how do I get really fast and then really big at the same time? That's probably a better example. Well, you can't. I mean, you can't be an Olympic sprinter and Olympic power lifter at the same time. Does that make sense? Like they're totally different. Now, why each one of those things could be healthy for you at some level, it's just impossible to do that. And so, and then also to take into account there is how different you are than the next person. So even if you and your buddy are both Olympic sprinters, you're not going to have the same workout program. There's going to be little individual differences that make up who you are. And so we have to kind of get into what that is, because why that exists too is, and I've experienced it with a lot of training partners I've had, where I have like worked really really hard and all overtrained, so like all fatigue out, but they feel great the next day, and I'm like, man, what is going on? We did the same exact workout, and why do I feel like crap? And this person is like trucking along, feeling great, or like vice versa. And so, what happens then is the individual differences is taken into account there. So maybe I'm not ready for that, or he's not ready for that. And so what happens there is basically you're progressing too quickly. So you're trying to do too many things at the same time. And so that brings us why progression is so important. So you want to start small, and you want to have some sort of tracking system that you're able to progress off of. So So sometimes I'll use a workout journal. I don't use it all the time. It's usually like an app, or I'll use like the notepad in my phone, and I'll say, okay, this week, when I did a bench press or a deadlift, I did this much weight. And so if my goal is to increase the amount of weight I'm doing, I'm gonna write that down, and then next week when I do it again, or a few days later when I do that workout again, I'll be able to hopefully increase that. Now, it's not always the goal. You don't always necessarily have to increase the weight that you're doing. Again, that's just an example. So it can be anything. Um, but I would say really the main thing here is figure out what you want. So what do you want out of your training program? Do you want to just be just a healthy individual? So for me, I want to be very healthy. That's always my goal. I want to be able to perform very, very well in my daily life. Okay, so I don't want to get out of breath when I walk upstairs. Uh, mine are very simple. So, and I imagine a lot of you that are watching is very simple too. So it's probably to lose a couple pounds or to gain a couple pounds of muscle. So with with doing that, we have to figure out the best way to organize. And the best way to organize for us, as far as workout goes, is, and I'm always going to say this, you always, always, always include your foundational movements into your workouts. And what a foundational movement is are the staples to your lifts. So most movements are based off of like 6 different exercises. Okay, so most movements are based off of squats, deadlifts. Those are probably your main ones, and then you have your secondary ones, which are your bench press, your bent over rows, your overhead presses. Okay, and then there's yeah, basically any type of row is what I put in there. So 5 to 6 different exercises is what you're based off of. So you can base this off of power cleans. You can base this off of snatches. You can base this off of, and those are super advanced things. But I mean, everything starts with your foundational movements. And so I always suggest working out your foundational movements 2 to 3 times a week. And this is where a lot of workout plans fail, especially the ones, and I won't name names, especially the ones that are too random, right? They're too random to basically, you don't have enough adaptation going on to where your body gets good at certain exercises. So if you're only deadlifting once a month, or once every, it doesn't even matter, like once every, you know, 4 to 6 weeks, I should say, you're not doing that movement enough to get good at it. So one of my buddies actually asked me today. He said, "Hey, what is your workout? What does your workout look like?" And I'm like, "Well, I do my foundational movements about 3 days a week, and then the other days I do whatever I'm focusing on for that time." So right now I'm trying to gain a little bit of muscle, and that's like the next 2 to 3 weeks. So that is my microcycle, or my penny, that I'm working on right now. So the penny for me is getting strong, or I'm sorry, is getting. I will get stronger, but the penny for me is gaining muscle. Okay, so that's what I'm focused on. Now, my overall goal might not be to be a huge person. It's not necessarily. I don't want to weigh 300 pounds. This is not my goal. So I want to be healthy, and I know that my weight will fluctuate. So I never weigh myself. That's kind of the big thing. Don't weigh yourself, because you know, depending on your diet and depending on what you're putting in your mouth, I mean, you know certain days that you're gonna weigh more than you do other days. So avoid that for sure, and then just progress. So this is what my angles program is built around. And if you haven't seen my angles program, or at least the intro video to it, go there and watch it now. I'll put it I'll put it in the notes below. So make sure that, now this is on YouTube. So if you're not watching this on my YouTube, you have to go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and then you'll be able to see those notes there. So check it out. I go through everything. I go through what basically breaks down what the periodization looks like. And so it always includes the foundational days in every single segment. So that's what I want you guys focused on. So do that. And if you don't feel confident, there are digressions to certain movements. So I can't even I can't really explain it right now, but there are a lot of digressions to squats, a lot of digressions to deadlifts, and overhead presses. There's a lot of different things that you can do to work up to that, and so that's your goal. That is your goal. And if you're not strong enough to do those types of things, um, like I said, do your research, or just send me an email and I'd be happy to answer the questions for you too. So that's definitely what I'm here for. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. Everything is NetFit Coach. Get it? So Internet Fit Coach. That's how it works. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you watching and sticking around. And I look forward to hearing and seeing your comments below. Thank you.